Hello everyone, myself Professor Meenal Sharma. On behalf of Online Shine, I would like to welcome you all again to this session of ours for Industrial Law. Now, today we are going to start with the second module, that is your Factories Act of 1948. Now, in this module, which we are specifically going to talk about the safety, health and workers of the factory workers, laborers and all. Now, in this particular module, we are having two parts. That is your Factories Act 1948 and your Workmen's Compensation Act. Now, let us start with the first part, that is your Factories Act 1948. Now, this was long in the back in the 1890. And during that time, that was during the time of your Britishers, in the second half of the 18th century, there was a rapid growth of industrialization and its industrial towns and your factories. As it was started, without planning, they employed women as well as the children in the factories where the needed work was being done by these particular women and the children at for more than 12 hours a day. Now, some of the employees took initiative to implement labor legislation, and at the same time, because of which the Factories Act came into existence in 1890. Now, after some modification, the final amendment was been done to the Factories Act, which took place in 1948. Now, Factories Act in India. In India, the first Factories Act was passed in 1881. Now, this act was basically the design to protect children and to provide few measures for the health, safety and the welfare of the workers. Now, this law was applicable to only those who were being employed in the factories which employed 100 or more workers. यानी अगर आपकी फैक्ट्री में 100 से ज़्यादा वर्कर्स होंगे तो ये पर्टिकुलर फैक्ट्रीज एक्ट 1948 या 1881 was applicable to them. But later on, in 1891, another Factories Act was passed which extended to the factories employing 50 or more workers. यानी later on जब 1891 में जब amendment हुआ, factories law में change हुआ, उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, even the factories who are employing more than 50 workers, for them also they are required to follow this Factories Act. So basically, in 1948, the final Factories Act was been amended and the few of the rules and regulations were set up. Now, first of all, let us understand what do you understand by the term factory. Now, factory is defined under section 2M of the Act. Now, ये क्या बोलता है? It means a premises including the present thereof. अभी इसमें क्या चीज आता है? Where 10 or more workers are working or were working on any day in the previous 12 months and in any part of which a manufacturing active process is carried out on with the aid of power in the ordinary terms and condition is carried out, then it will be coming under the definition of factory. यानी अगर आपके पास 10 से ज्यादा वर्कर है और आपकी फैक्ट्री में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस हो रहा है या विद द एड ऑफ योर पावर यानी पावर सप्लाई के साथ अगर काम हो रहा है, then you will be having the application of Factories Act. Further it says, when 20 or more workers are being employed, 20 से ज्यादा अगर आपके पास वर्कर है, working on any day in the previous 12 months in any part of the manufacturing process is been carried out without the aid of the power in ordinary. यानी अगर आपके पास पावर सप्लाई वाला नहीं है, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस है पर पावर सप्लाई वाला नहीं है, then in that case you will be called to having work and it will be applicable for you to follow the Factories Act. That is in the second condition. Now, it also does not include a mine subject to operation of your Minings Act of 1952. A mobile unit belonging to armed forces of the nation, a railway running shed or a hotel, restaurant, eating and other eatery places. यानी अगर आपका फैक्ट्री के डेफिनेशन में ये सब चीजें इंक्लूड नहीं होती है, माइनिंग का, then your any mobile unit relating to your armed forces and all, then your anything which is related to your railway sheds and all, anything which is relevant to your hotel, restaurants, eating place, all these things are not being included under the definition of your factory. Now what? Second thing, what was the major object? जब ये 1948 का एक्ट बना, what was the major concern for setting up a Factories Act? The main object of the Factories Act in 1948 is to ensure adequate safety measures and to promote health and safety and at the same time welfare of the workers employed in the factories. यानी health, safety and welfare, ये तीन चीज उनको promote करने के लिए, उनको protect करने के लिए ये एक्ट बनाया गया था. Now the act also makes provisions regarding employment of women and young person including children and adolescents, annual leave and wages etc. यानी इस एक्ट में और भी चीजें डिस्कस की गई है regarding the safety of the women and children, even what do you understand by the term of adolescents and all. Even they are going to explain you what is your annual leave or wages. All these things are been taken care under your Factories Act. Now first provision, let us understand, that is your provisions regarding to the health of a person. यानी अगर मुझे एक पर्सन की हेल्थ से कंसर्न होगा तो मुझे उसके लिए क्या प्रोविजंस करना पड़ेगा. I have to see to it that I am giving him a clean environment. मेरी फैक्ट्री है, मुझे देना है. I have to see to it I am giving a cleanliness. Second, disposal of the waste and effluents. आपके यहाँ पे जो कचरा लेट आउट हो रहा है, वेस्ट लेट आउट हो रहा है, वो प्रॉपर डिस्पोजल में जा रहा है. आप वहीं पे फैक्ट्री के अंदर वहीं पे कचरा रख रहे हो, वहीं पे बेचारे वर्कर्स काम कर रहे हैं. That can impact their health, so you have to take care about that. Third, ventilation and temperature. Proper ventilation, you have to get proper windows. If there is something related to your maintaining of your hot temperature or a cold temperature has to be maintained, then in that case you have to keep proper exhausting of the air, you have to give the AC facilities. All these facilities have to be given. Dust and fumes. हमारे generally when we say every time a person is suffering from breathing problems and all, what is the reason? Because of all the dust and fumes which are been surrounding that particular environment. So I have to take care of that कि no more pollution is being done within the premises of my factory and even outside also. Artificial humidification, जो हम लोग कई बार देखते हैं, at times if you will go to factory you will see कि there are artificial temperature being maintained, extreme cold, extreme hot or some kind of a mediocre kind of a, why? To maintain the products and everything. So for that reason at that time you have to maintain the humidification as per the human capability also. So that is also one of the part. No overcrowding should be allowed. Overcrowding of a particular premises should not be absolutely. There are chances there might be accident or a fire or any mishap which will take place if we are not taking care about your proper number of workers working within the premises. Lighting, proper lights and all are required to be there. At times accidents do happen just because they are unable to observe the things. At times the oil has been fell down and the particular worker is unable to see and he just slipped down, because of which he meets with an accident and all. So what is all this? This is proper lighting facility that has to be there. Drinking water, this is the basic thing for a human you have to do. So proper drinking water facility which is edible, which is good for the health of a person to consume. So proper drinking water has to be provided. At the same time, urinals and latrines. Now these are the basic. Again, this is also one of the basic. When it comes to your health part, this is also one of the washroom facility is one of the very much essential part when I am talking about a particular provision relating to the health of the workers. So अगर आपको urinals आप नहीं दे रहे हो, वो यहीं पे open में जाकर के गला खराब कर रहे हैं. So that means to say you are again affecting the surrounding in the wrong manner. So that has to be taken care. And last but not the least, but your spittoons. Now spittoons is something kind of a basin which are being provided. If you get the opportunity, please go and visit to a particular factory premises and you will be able to understand that every particular factory premises is having something, these facilities, drinking facility or a washroom facility or a spittoons means to your basin facility, where generally the working class people are having the habitual of chewing something, tobacco or smoking or any such kind of, then in that case they should be given a proper basin or something where they can spit it out. So that is known as spittoons. Now this was all you are talking about regarding the health of the worker. Now coming to the next part of your provisions relating to your safety of the workers. When I am talking of the safety, now safety, that is the duty of a particular employer. एक employee को safe एनवायरमेंट देना, एक सेफ प्रोविजंस देना, ये सारे के सारे वर्कर की ड्यूटी है. सो व्हाट आई हैव टू टेक केयर इफ देयर इज माय फैक्ट्री. First thing, I have to take care about the proper fencing of machinery. Machinery needs to be fenced in a right manner, so that at times if the wires are hanging like that, chances of again short circuit or a fire or any other mishap can happen. So that during that period of time, no other major accidents to take place, you have to see to it the machines are properly being fenced. Proper barricades are being put up around your machinery, active machineries. Second, I have to see to it work on or near machinery in motion. So there have to be some training sort of when a particular work is being going on near the machineries which is active, which is working. Then in that case, you have to give the proper guidance, you have to give the proper training, you have to say only skilled people are being employed, who are being given proper training, who are being having the knowledge about the same, they are being given that opportunity. Coming to the third part, that is your employment of young person on the dangerous machinery. Now that is absolutely punishable. अगर आप जानबूझ करके एक particular young person को, young in that there is the two criteria. If it is below the 14 years, it's absolutely not allowed. If it is above the 14 years, you have to give him every possibility of chances to substitute his work to some other place, because taking care of a particular machinery, it has to be, especially the dangerous machinery, has to be done by the person who is having the skill about the same. Next is your striking gear or devices for cutting of the power. Striking, generally your red knob, striking gear you must have seen in the factories and all. Even in your some of the cooperative societies and all, they are also having. What are these? These are for the cutting of the power. If anything mishap happens, so immediately you can cut off the power so that there is no further, any further. So there is no further any other mishap happening. So for that you have to give the guidance and you have to give the knowledge about the same. Self-acting machinery. And now in majority of the factories there are machineries who are being working by itself. It is just the supervisory work needs to be done. So even proper oiling, proper fitting, each and everything has to be observed. Then your casing of the new machinery, you have to see to you have done oiling work, you have to see that the manuals are being read, the proper training are being done when it comes to the new machinery. Next is your prohibition of employment of women and children. There are few of the rules and regulations when it comes to the employment of the children for specific work. वहाँ पे आपको absolutely a woman or a children को आप employ नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपने किया है, then in that case you have to take the very much high care and safety. And even after that anything happens, you will be liable as an employer. Cotton openers. Now generally in the cotton openers there are chances, due to the dust and the fumes, when the cotton is been beaten or the thread has been made, then in that case there are chances you will start suffering with the oxygen, your breathing issues and all in the near future. So in that area you have to see to the protection has been done from the women and children. Lifts, hoist, pull-ups, your machines and other things are been cranes and all been used. So उसके लिए भी proper space होनी चाहिए, proper provision होना चाहिए. Again that has also been taken care. Revolving machinery, pressure plant and all. So all these, pressuring plant of the glass making industries, all these things are being covered under your safety provision. At the same time, I have to see to it that the floors, stairs and any means of access has to be taken care in a regular basis. Every now and then cleaning has been done. Pits, openings, any floor openings, any sumps, all these things are being checked every now and then. Even the walls, even the water supply, excessive weight is being taken or not. All these things are to be taken care by the supervisor, by the manager and in the end by the employer, because if anything happens, it is the duty of the employer. Precaution has to be taken regarding the use of portable electric lights. So at times if you are you are using generators, you are having the portable lights and all. So again for that only the experienced person who is having the enough number of skills and experience, you can apply to that. Precaution has to be taken in case of a fire takes place. तो उसके अंदर क्या होना है, फायर एक्सटिंग्विशर्स होने चाहिए आपके पास. उसके लिए आपको इमीडिएटली कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर, इमरजेंसी कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर आप लोगों के पास होना चाहिए. even for the fire, you have to see to it that you are giving the experience to these people every now and then, how to use a fire extinguisher, how to put out the lights and all these have to be taken care. Even at the same time, you have to, if you are having the particular number of more than 100 to 150 workers, in that case I have to maintain a safety officer in my premises. So safety officer क्या होगा, वो every now and then आपको चेकअप करवाता रहेगा, आपको गाइडेंस करता रहेगा, आपके एम्प्लॉइज को एजुकेट करता रहेगा, so that the enough safety has been maintained within my premises. This was your provision when it comes to your safety of the workers. Now next is very important. It is not considered that important, but still I would consider it as a very important. Why? Because all work, no play makes Jack a dull boy. So that's what I believe. The provisions regarding the welfare of the workers is also very important. See, अपने health majority of the time health और safety हर एक जन follow करते हैं. But welfare क्या? Welfare just means to say where you are giving them a good standard of living, you are improving their entertainment, you are improving their standard of living, you are giving them a better life which can improvise their future also. So that is coming under the part of the welfare of the workers. Now इसमें सबसे पहले washing facility. दिस इज अ बेसिक फैसिलिटी. वॉशिंग का मतलब होता है अगर वो प्रीमाइसेस में आ रहा है तो हाथ एंड ऑल क्लीन करे, हैंड्स लेग्स एंड ऑल क्लीन करे. अगर वो फैक्ट्री से जा रहा है so that he is not taking all the dust fumes to his place, to his children and all his family, so they should not suffer because of that, because at times they might be working in hazardous industries also. So all that particular protection के लिए उनको proper washing facility मिलना चाहिए, जहाँ पे वो लोग बात ले सके, जहाँ पे वो क्लीन कर सके, जहाँ पे वो अपने क्लोथ्स को क्लीन कर सके. All that facility should be given. Second, the facility for storing and drying of the clothes. So even there should be separate pair of clothes should be given to them, so that which can they use it within the factory premises, so that वहाँ पे आपको पता भी चलेगा, वहाँ पे वो क्लीन कर सकेंगे, वहाँ पे से absolutely change करके they can work and later on even change their dress and then go back home. So even that is something welfare to them. Facilities for sitting. This is the basic thing. You all can understand. If a person is working for more than 8 to 9 hours, so he needs a relaxation time. So proper sitting facilities should be given. First aid facilities. Now first aid basic thing is that if I'm within my premises, if there are more than 100 to 150 workers, I have to provide them with the first aid facilities. First aid maintain करना बहुत compulsory है. Anytime anything happens, any accident, I have to first give them the first aid, immediate protection I should able to give them, immediate medicine I will be able to give them, and later we can give it to the hospitals or any other centers. Canteens, shelter homes and the rest homes or the lunch room facility. Now if my particular factory is in somewhere in the outskirts, over there they don't have any particular facility. So if at times if they want something to eat, if they want something place to sit for their lunch and all those particular facilities should be given at a reasonable cost. Now again that is all depending upon the work from factory to factory, but yes, if I am having more than 150 workers, I have to maintain a canteen. Crutches. Crutches, this means to say a babysitting kind of a place where if a female is working in my factory, she should be able to bring her a child who is below the age of 6 years, and she can be able to feed them or give them a proper area where these particular kids can stay together and even protection can be given. So that is your crutch facility or a babysitting facility should be maintained in my factory. Now, welfare officer, again I will be required to maintain a welfare officer if I am having more than 250 workers, more than 500 workers within my factory. So I will have to maintain a proper record for the same. This was a provision related to the welfare of workers. Now we just discussed about your safety and then welfare of the workers. Now let us discuss about the next part, that is your working hours, your daily wages and all those things when I am talking about your employment in the factories act. Now first of all, your restriction of employment. When I am talking about the restriction of employment for women, children and the adolescents. Now first of all, the timing for the women and the women workers in the factory premises during the daytime is from your morning, your 6 AM to evening 7 PM. That is the maximum time for which a particular female can be employed or any other worker can be employed. So basically, a female cannot be employed when between after your 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is a restriction. Now, no child below the age of 14 years is to be employed in a factory. Besides, when I'm talking about your children, if he is of the below the 18 years, he can be employed, but not in any work which is having a hardship or any dangerous work. No particular worker can be employed into dual employment. That means there is no worker, be it your adult, be it your child, he cannot be employed in any particular premises where he is working for a continuous already when he is into existing work for a full-time job. Now, working hours. The working hours for a particular adolescent or an adult is, as per the time which has been set up. That is your 9 hours. That is a maximum 9 hours per day a particular adolescent, a particular adult can work. When it comes to your children who are below the age of 14 years, they can maximum work not exceeding 4.5 hours a day. So that means to say a particular who is below the age of 18 years but above the age of 14 years, they can be employed, but only for a maximum period of 4.5 hours a day. Now, rest intervals. Now, rest intervals or a spread over that is being given in between the time of their work, and that is 1.5 hour a day they are being given, where it will be including their lunch hour, they are between their relaxation time, whatever it is, tea break or something, in between the washroom breaks, everything that is a maximum you are including a period of 1.5 hour a day. No overlapping of the suits. That means to say, our shifts are been there. So two of the person but he has been working into shifts, or a particular factory has been working into a shift time, morning hours and then the night hours. Then in that case, no particular person can be employed on a continuous basis. When it comes to the continuous shift, he cannot be employed even if he is wanting to do so. Weekly holidays. Now, when it comes to the weekly holidays, at least once in a week, a particular person is eligible for getting weekly holidays. At the same time, 10 days continuous period of time. If a particular person has been working, he has the right to get a break or a leave. Overtime. No particular person can do overtime more than 9 hours a day. Even if a particular person, that means to say on an average it will be coming to 48 hours a week. If he is working, that means to say when he is going to work for an overtime, he will be eligible for getting extra wages or extra bonus depending upon the calculation which is been done in the factory premises. At the same time, in the factory premises, you are required to, as an occupier, as an employer, I am required to maintain a notice board, where the period of notice, everything, period of work or how their schedules and everything are being planned up, that has to be displayed. If you as the employer are not providing this information, and if any wrong has been done by the worker, then you can't blame the worker for this. The register of the workers, how much time they have worked, how much quantity they have produced, or what hours they have entered, what time they have existed. All these information has to be kept in a register. Now again, that is the duty of the occupier or of the departmental head who will be responsible for this. Coming to the next part, leave with wages. Now even the workers are eligible for getting the leave. During leave, 1 day leave for every 20 days of work can be given to any female or male workers. At the same time, leave for a day for every 15 days work if a child has been considered. So if a child is considered working, then they will be getting a paid leave. At the same time, they do have the concept of accumulated leave. Accumulated leave means to say where together whatever the leave they have not taken will be accumulated up to 30 days. Up to 30 days in a year, which will be calculated, and for the children it is your 40 days a year, which will be calculated, and at times they can be paid off for the same. So these are the rights of the employees when they are calculating about the leave with wages. Now at the same time, the worker and the employers are also having few of the rights. Right to carry out the plan in a proper manner, right to appeal to the government if the workers are not listening to them properly, right to restrain a child for not walking into the premises if it is having a few of the rules and regulations, right to appeal against the order of the inspector if they have given any particular wrong order or a wrong settlement, they can go ahead for the appeal, right to demand for any application if that is not been approved by any of the government authorities. So these are few of the rights given to the employers. Let's see what are the rights of your employees. When it comes to the right to employees, it is obligation of the employers to see to it the best facility, your health, welfare and safety facilities are being given to the employees. Why right? The workers have the right to form or inform about each and every information to the occupier. Right of the worker to get himself, get the information on the notice board. Right of the worker to represent himself to the inspector or any other authority if he is having any particular issue or problem. Right of the worker to get a proper way, paid wages and all for even for the overtime or even for any other work which he has done specially. Right to claim the wages or any other bonus or leave. That is all the rights which are being given under your Factories Act. Now let's come to the last and the most important part, that is your offences and penalties. Now, if an occupier of a factory, that is occupier means a person who has been given employed a work on behalf of the main employer, has in contravened to any of the provision that is relating to your health, welfare and safety of the workers, then he shall be imprisonment for up to not up to your 2 years period of time and fine of up to 1 lakh of rupees per both. Now, if the offence is been continued even after convicted, उसको जेल हो गई थी उस चीज को लेकर के, but still he kept on continuing, then in that case further rupees of 1000 each day he is committing the offence. Anything which is subsequent conviction, same offence, अगर बार-बार एक ही repeat करता जा रहा है, then in that case again उसके ऊपर charges लगेंगे for imprisonment up to 3 years and fine which is up to your 2 lakhs, and if it is in addition then it is your minimum 10,000 fine will be given to him in a very much strict manner. Second, if any person who willfully disobeys or obstructs any inspector or fails to produce before him, अगर कोई भी इंस्पेक्टर इन्विजिलेशन के लिए आता है जानबूझकर उसको प्रॉपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं करने दिया जाता है, then in that case that person committing that crime will be imprisonment for a term of 6 months and fine up to rupees 1 lakh or more. Any person who publishes or discloses the wrong or false analysis or results or anything, जानबूझ करके fake documents दे रहा है, then in that case he will be imprisonment for again 6 months and fine up to rupees 1 lakh or more. Any person who sells or lets his use the factory machineries or any other power or not effectively which have been guarded or properly charges are not been taken against your health and safety of the workers, then he will be imprisonment for up to 3 months and fine of rupees 500 or more. Yani you have to take enough of precaution and when it comes to the factory premises. Even at times there are few of the punishment which are being levied on the employees also. So if any person who has been provided with proper spittoons and all, still he is spitting in the premises anywhere, then he will be fined of ₹5 whatever whenever he does such particular kind. Any medicinal practitioner and all, he attends to the workers and he is not giving the proper records and documents, then in that case he will be punishable with 1000 rupees. Any particular worker who contravenes any of the provision or he purposely आपको safety provisions बताए, आपको head guard वगैरह बताए, but still he is not following, then he will be punishable with 500 rupees. Then lastly, any worker who acts in contravention of the employees with regard to safe use of appliances and all, then he has to give all the guidance and all, and still he is not giving them all those particular guidance, then he will be imprisonment up to 3 months or fine up to ₹100 or 3 months complete imprisonment as what has been decided by the tribunal or the court. So this was your concept relating to your Factories Act. With this we have finished up with your Factories Act 1948. Thank you.